wonderful people, and welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jennifer Diamond, and I live a whole food, plant-based, sofas-free, gluten-free lifestyle for health and well-being. And it's continuing on my health journey. The sofas means no salt, oil, flour, alcohol, sugar, or gluten for me. So anyways, today I thought, let's explore plantains. Okay, so I am very unfamiliar with plantains, but I've heard a lot of good things about them. And so I thought today we could kind of, play around with plantains, and I could share a little bit about what I have learned recently and things that I don't know. And so first of all, I have 2 plantains here and 1 banana. And plantains are actually from the banana family. They have a lot more starch in them, and they're not as sweet. They're high in fiber and potassium, and they're really good for gut flora and all kinds of yumminess that happens, in our gut. And so I just thought that I would talk about them. So if plantains are green in the store, they're usually not ripe. But when they go from green to yellow, and even yellow to this brown, that's the ripening process. I understand that you can eat them at any type of ripening process, anywhere in there. I guess there's a window. So when I went to the store, these were just slightly with a little blackish brown, and they were yellow. And this one has really gotten completely black. I don't know how that one is gonna look for us. And of course I mentioned that this is a banana, but I just kind of wanted to show you the difference in the shape. A banana versus a plantain that may or may not be ripe. And, my understanding is that the curvature can tell us a lot about if it's one that we should bring home. And if they are green, it is okay to bring them home green and ripen them at home. You can do it like you would any other kind of, pear or any other kind of fruit. You could put it on the counter and let it ripen. Some people I have heard put them in bags. I haven't really done a paper bag one, but you could do that. At any rate, now we're gonna just cut into them and get them put on this silpat and cook them up and taste them. So I have the banana here just because I thought it would be fun since they are related, but we're not cooking the banana. So the first thing that you want to do, and I'm going to do both of these, and we're going to compare them because I, don't know what to expect inside, but you want to first cut the tip off on both ends. And you can just, I went ahead and I already sliced into it, and that's something you don't want to do. You want to slice the skin off down here, but you don't want to pierce the plantain, which I just did. So let me get a smaller knife so maybe I could do a better job. Okay, I have a little paring knife, and I'm gonna go from the other side and see if I can do a better job. Just kind of want to score it and then pull it off. Well, I did start to score it, but I didn't do it deep enough. So let's see. And if you puncture it like I'm doing, oh well. I mean, I am no professional at this. We're doing this together for my first time, and if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and leave me a comment. Tell me, do you have any tips or tricks or anything that you would recommend that I do to make this a successful plantain experience? I'd love to hear from you. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos, and help support my channel and grow. I would love to reach as many people to help spread the word of my healing journey and where I've come from and how I live day to day now with anyone. So thank you, and don't forget to hit the like button. So getting back to this, I'm just gently trying to peel this off. So another thing is, if a green plantain is kind of going bad before it turns yellow, that's another indication that it might have been picked too soon. So I'm just going to move this aside. Let's go ahead and cut this one and just see if this one is any good. And I'm not really sure how to tell, other than I can tell that this one has a scent where this one didn't. Well, it does if you put it right up to your nose, but and I already can see a difference in color. This will be interesting. So, whoops, too big. I'm gonna go ahead and score this again, trying not to pinch it. But you know what, if it does, I don't see how it would harm it. Now, I've also heard or seen that you can cut it right in half and cook it in the skin. And obviously we're not doing that today because I really wanted to take a look at it before it's cooked. And then you could just peel it out of the skin after the fact. And unfortunately, I did pierce this one, but I was trying not to, and it didn't really work that well. So this one looks a very different color, looks really overly ripe. But then again, I don't have anything to compare it to because this is new for me. And all it means is that for me, I'm going to try again when I go to the store. And I hope that you'll be inspired to try plantains if you haven't. And if you have, you'll be inspired to help teach me. Okay, so I'm going to move the skin aside. So look at, without them, you can tell a difference, the shape, and so on. So let me rinse my hands. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do is slice them up into kind of like a penny shape. And you know, there are two ways that we could do this. We could just go ahead and do a straight angle like this, straight down. And you wanna get it about 1/4 of an inch thick. This might be a little too, but if you do it more at an angle, like this, like this, like this. I'm going to show you the difference. You'll have more surface area to get some type of a caramelization from the cooking process. So I'm going to put this, this one that we cut kind of on the penny shape on here first, and then I'm just going to kind of line them up the way that we cut them so that we can kind of see. And I'm going to cut the rest of this one on an angle. And I'm trying to do it about 1/4 inch thick. I think I was a little thick on this first one, but I'm going to leave it anyways. Should I cut it in half? Let's see. Then it might be too small. All right, I did cut it in half. Okay, so... All right, let's go ahead and cut this one also the same way. Okay, so here's what our plantains look like. And just for fun, I think I'm gonna also cut the bananas so we can see the color difference and we can just kind of compare it, even though they're not the same, but they are in the same family. So here's our banana. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut into it. Most of us are very familiar with bananas, and I do want to show you that there is quite a difference in color. Look at that. So, and even if I were to cut it the same way, you can see, and they smell different, and they are different. So, don't think that a plantain is a banana. Banana is sweet, and a plantain I think is more savory. So I'm gonna take this off because I'm not gonna cook these, but I did want to show you. And give me a second, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the oven on to preheat. Okay, so as soon as I get that preheated, I'm gonna go ahead and stick these in. Now, some people like them to get really caramelized, and that's with anything, right? And so a lot of people tend to brush oil on and just to help the browning process, or they use butter or ghee in a pan, or you don't need oil, butter, ghee, or any type of anything like that. And so I'm gonna show you that. Now, are these gonna brown up exactly the same way? Maybe not, but they're still gonna be just as good and so much healthier. Another way that you might consider, if you have the correct cooking appliance, is air fry them. You could air fry these, and that would be wonderful. You could also make dips that you could dip it in. I've seen recipes where you can put the plantains in with beans and vegetables and make a huge meal. But for for purposes today of just experimenting, we're just gonna go ahead and cook these up. So while we're waiting for the oven to preheat, I was thinking maybe we could also put a little bit of cinnamon on a few of these. And so this is the way that we had them. These were sliced from that first one that had a little bit more yellow to the skin, and these over here were sliced from the one that had the black skin. So if I take some across the bottom here and sprinkle them with cinnamon, we'll have just another way to try some other sampling. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of cinnamon in my hand, and I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it just a little, just for fun, and see what that tastes like. That looks pretty good. What do you think? All right, so we've got some samples. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven. It's about halfway through the cooking process, and I'm excited to see what's going on. Okay. All right. So now, my oven isn't the greatest, so you can see the ones in the front of your screen are looking really good. And the ones in the back, I'm gonna move them. But you know what, I feel like we should flip them over. So they're very gooey. Let's see if we can gently flip them over. And yes, the pan is hot, but I'm used to, handling hot things in the kitchen. So before I put it back in, I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of the cinnamon on this side. Let me grab that. To the back row here, like we had, just to do both sides. And I know I had spoken earlier about, not turning it over, but I did a little research while we were waiting, and if it's sliced like this versus being cooked in the skin, you probably do want to turn it over. So that's why we did that, and then it'll give it a chance to cook evenly on both sides. So, all right, let's get these back in. Okay, and while those are cooking, I thought we would maybe whip up a little dipping sauce to try with it. So I pulled together some stuff, and let's kind of create. Okay. So what we have here is some parsley And I'm gonna chop up a little bit of parsley. We have a very small serrano pepper. These are from our tree. This was in the freezer. I've cut it in half and scooped out half of the seeds because that really takes up the heat. So if you love spice, by all means, put in all the seeds. If you like a little, maybe scoop out half. And if you'd like a more mild, go ahead and just discard all the seeds. And you'll still get a beautiful serrano pepper flavor. I also have, for some creaminess, some garbanzo beans or chickpeas. I actually made these in the Instant Pot recently. They were from a dry, and there's nothing on them. They're just already cooked. And then we've got some cloves of garlic and some lime, as well as a little bit of sweetness. I'm going to use the Date Ladies date syrup, and we're just going to go ahead and put all of this in my NutriBullet. You could use anything that you have. I'm going to go ahead and pour those guys in, and the garlic. I am going to use half of the serrano pepper and save the other half for something else. And I'm going to put these stems in my broth collection and put the rest of this in there. And this I hope is a yummy tasting dipping sauce. So I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze out the lime juice. You could just peel it and put the whole thing in there minus the skin, or you could press it. So you've got some options. I think I'll squirt all of this in there, and I might just peel the other half all off of the skin and just throw the whole thing in there. Get crazy. Let's get crazy. So, okay. So let me just see if I could help myself out here. Oh yeah, look at that. Just peeling the skin off, and then this way I'm using the whole thing. Although I don't think I need the entire lime, but I'm going to show you that you could squeeze it the way I did, or you could just entirely peel all the skin off, which I better just do, and cut a piece or use the whole thing. Here we go. Okay, I feel like we have plenty in there, so I'm just going to add a little bit because you can always add more. You can't take it away. Isn't that what they say? So I will put the rest in this little cup, and then I'm going to go ahead and measure out some beautiful sweetness. Do you have any kind of special dipping sauce or any kind of dressing of any sort that you would use on your plantains? If they're not in a dish, leave a comment, let me know. Maybe I'll be able to try something new and different, which I'm already doing. Okay, let me plug this in and see if we have enough liquid to make this go. Whoops, let's see. The thing about the NutriBullet is they recommend that you don't run it for more than 1 minute at a time. And I don't know if that's because the motor will, get hot or what the reason is. So I like to stop it often and just kind of hand mix it, check it out before I just let it go indefinitely, which I wouldn't do, but past the minute. So now I am going to take a little taste to see if I need to add anything extra to this. That might be too much sauce. Let's see. Woo-wee. Serrano pepper. Okay, so I am definitely going to add a little more sweetness because that puppy is hot. Yike-a-ronies. It's got a good flavor, but I didn't even put the seeds in it, and I didn't even use the whole thing, for goodness sake. So, wow. Kind of excited about it. All right. All right, let's try to add a little extra sweetness to it. Maybe that will balance out the flavors a little more. All right. Let's check into this. And there were just a couple of minutes left on the oven, but I upped the temperature, or the timer, just because my oven will automatically turn off, and I want to be able to check it before it turns all the way off. So in a minute, we'll check it. Oh yeah, this seems a little more watered down. So because between the water and the date paste, I think it got a little more watery, but that's okay. It's still looking good. So let's try this on the back end of my spoon. Oh yeah. Now it's a little on the too sweet side. So, you know, you can play with it and do whatever flavor palette that works for you. Now, I think this is done. So I'm going to unplug this. Okay. Let's see what they're looking like. Oh, wow. Look at that. So just so you can follow, I have it backwards. Definitely the ones that were super ripe are just really, really more brown versus the other ones. And, you know, I'm going to say that these look done. What do you think? I'm going to put some on a plate and let's give it a taste. And so these over here are the ones with the cinnamon. So I'm going to put the cinnamon ones here. This is a cinnamon one. I'm going to put it like that. Whoa. These are the cinnamon ones. And then we're going to just do a regular one. Wow. Some of these are really juicy, and I don't know if that's just because of how they cooked or if that's just because of that super duper ripeness that we used, or maybe overripe, and maybe we shouldn't have even done it, but we did. So let me move these over, and look at that. There we go. So we've got, these are the cinnamon ones, and these are the non-cinnamon ones. I'm going to get a fork. And I don't know, I'm going to ask Todd to join us and we can taste them together. Todd, would you like to join me for a taste test?
Sure I would.
So, want to say hi to everyone?
Hello to everybody.
So we just made some plantains.
Okay.
And some dipping sauce.
All right.
And here's a fork, and I
Okay.
have it divided up.
Okay.
So these are like extra ripe.
Okay.
And these are the little bit less.
Okay.
So these are cinnamon, so we can each try those, and then these are without the cinnamon.
Okay.
And this dipping sauce has all kinds of green goodies in it. So if you'd like to go ahead and try with me.
Sure.
I'm going to try the cinnamon one first.
Which of these is cinnamon? Or none of these?
This side is
okay.
cinnamon.
So I'm going to try one of these.
Yeah, and I kind of want to taste it before I have the sauce, just to see what plantains taste like.
So many options.
So I'm going to just take a bite, and then I'm going to dip a bite, and you can do whatever you want. What are you going to do?
I don't know. The choices are overwhelming. I'm going to do what you're doing.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm going to be my own person.
That's really good.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic.
You should try it without the sauce.
Well, I can't now.
Oh my gosh. Well,
I put the whole thing in my mouth.
I know. And since we're the only ones eating this, I'm going to use the same utensil. If we were serving this to someone, I absolutely would.
It's got a pretty good bite to it. It's nice, right? So, and I had the one with the cinnamon, but the plantain is not a sweet flavor. But this has got some sweetness in it and some spice, which is nice. So it's a good balance of things happening. Is there cilantro in here?
No, I used parsley, but you could definitely use cilantro. I used parsley. Do you want to try some other ones?
Sure.
Okay, so we tried this one. We should at least try the darker looking one. I'm going to
Okay.
just use my finger, and I'm going to try it
It's
first
kinda
again.
squishy.
And it goes overripe.
Learning my lesson, I'm going to eat half.
And I think that I personally prefer the lighter one. So
That's
this,
these?
yeah, and this is definitely delicious. This is. But I just liked the flavor of the lighter toned one. What do you think?
This one definitely has a sweeter profile than the other one.
Yeah. And you could put some.
This one, I mean, they're not bananas, and they taste nothing like bananas. But
No.
this is closer to being banana sweetness than I think these others.
So what did I take away from this? I would cook them up before they all get that, completely dark and overripe look. But the other one that had a little bit of yellow and some darkness to it, which is this lighter one, I think that's perfect. I really like that. Yeah, that one just doesn't have the cinnamon on it. So we hope that you enjoyed this journey with me and
Tasty.
and with us as the taste testers to either help us along with some advice on plantains, or if it encourages you to get out there and try something new and different, try plantains. My goodness, they are delicious. So take care, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and don't forget, eat your greens. Bye-bye.
We have more of those, right?
We do.
Right on.